guys? Welcome to the first class of financial literacy over how money works. We will be dissecting this book, grabbing all the gems, all the jewels, all the tools, all the resources as entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs to propel us in our journeys, right? And so, again, if you guys missed last night's episode, we went over the synopsis of this book. I'll go ahead and read it again real quick. It says financial literacy is the number one economic crisis in the world, impacting more than 5 billion people across the planet. The few who know how money works takes advantage of those who don't, the suckers. This book is designed to help you break the cycle of endless debt, foolish spending, and financial cluelessness so you can stop being a sucker, start being a student, and take control of your financial future. So I just want to shout out Tom Matthews and Steve Siebold, as they obviously are the authors of this book and all the gems that we're going to share with you guys to the world. So let's hop right into it. Right at the introduction, it says, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Now, keep that in mind, right? I'm really big on seeking to understand, right? Because that's how we learn in life. Always got to continue our education. So let's hop right into the beginning part. It says, master chefs become obsessed with how food works. Coaches study how winning teams works. Golfers watch and review and rewatch how pros swings work. Generals dissect how the battles of conquerors work. You get the idea. Money is no different. Those who study how money works have a greater sense of becoming wealthy. As they learn, they stop doing stupid things, start measuring their decisions, and begin leveraging information to make smarter moves. So, guys, what did they just say? Leveraging information to make smarter moves. That's what we're doing right now. We're leveraging this book, right? Knowledge corrects behavior. Correct behavior alters the future. It says there's an old saying, what we think about, we bring about. The expression holds true over the course of our lives in determining both our struggles and our successes. What do you think? It says what you think becomes your reality. What will your reality be, right? Ask yourselves that question. What will our reality be? It will largely depend on how we think about money. That's what it ultimately says. It says if you're like many, you think primarily in emotional terms. You get excited to buy something new. You grow frustrated when paying bills because you find the mechanics of money uninteresting and confusing. You end up like so many others, never learning how money really works. No big deal, right? But there's one thing about money. It's not like cooking, golfing, or any other skill you can get by without. If you don't know how to properly grill salmon, who cares? If you can't drain a 20-foot putt, so what? But if you don't know how money works, you might wake up every day wondering why life sucks. That's a strong word, but yes, not knowing how money works sucks. It sucks up your time, it sucks up your freedom, and most importantly, it sucks up your income. So where does it all go? It goes to your mortgage lender, your credit card company, your bank, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, the guys exactly how money works. W.C. Fields said, it's morally wrong to allow a sucker to keep his money. This is what you're up against. You become a sucker, they become wealthy. The world is full of people who are happy to tell you what to do with your money. This book is designed to help you learn how money really works so you can stop being a sucker and start being a student and be the one to call the shots throughout your life with confidence. I love that part. Grand failure or grand finale. You choose. It all starts with your thinking. It all starts with knowing how money works. So how about now, TJ? Ready to learn how money works? He said, you're right. I said, told you. So let's go into the first chapter. It says financial literacy is knowing how money works, or as the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis states, it means understanding how to earn, spend, save, manage, and invest money. Having a strong understanding of financial literacy will allow you to make better financial decisions that can hopefully improve your day-to-day life. Financial literacy, on the other hand, is not knowing how money works um, which can make you financially unwell for life. It says, come on, the number one economic crisis in the world. Skeptical George, how have you considered that financial literacy is the economic factor that can directly affect all 7.5 billion people in the world? So it is a big deal. Says financial literacy plagues people all over the world in every country. Currently, 90% of Venezuelans live below the poverty line. Greece still hovers close to 20% unemployment since their 2010 economic collapse. These are just two examples of nations suffering from the economic state of emergency. The reasons for each crisis differs, including fallout from the global recession, military turmoil, political corruption, natural disasters, and a wide range of other causes and complexities. The deep anguish millions of people endure every day due to economic disasters should never be diminished. However, the number of people affected by the troubles of the national economies pale in comparison to the widespread of crisis of financial literacy. Now, this is very crucial, guys. I underline this part. This is very crucial. Hear me clearly. It's going to help whoever reads this. Financial literacy impacts almost three-fourths of the world. Financial literacy is the lack of education about money and finance, especially personal finance. It enables governments and corporations driven to meet the demands of stakeholders and shareholders to leverage the ignorance of citizens and customers for their own power and gain. If that didn't hit you guys like it hit me when I first read it, man, it felt like felt like how Ryan Garcia hit Haney, just knockout. Like, oh shoot, that was a attention grabber for sure. Throughout the world is chiefly knowledge that separates those with advantages from those who are taken advantage of. The goal of this book is to close the gap by democratizing education about how money works. With everyone, I said, when everyone is financially literate, it says the playing field can be leveled, giving citizens from each nation the chance to enjoy a higher quality of life and hope to pursue their dreams for the future. So, guys, this is not only just going to help just you, me, this is going to help whoever at any time they come across these videos. A recent study of financial literacy found that 30% of people in the world are financially literate. There are over 7.5 billion people in the world. That means 5 billion people are financially literate. Now you see why the number one economic crisis is financial literacy in the world. It says, indisputably, the sheer size of the problem is staggering. Financial literacy is the number one economic crisis in America, too. If you think America is leading in financial literacy, you're wrong. A recent study reveals that Americans trail behind Germany, Canada, France, India, and Spain in financial literacy. Take a look at these facts that reveal the damage financial literacy has caused in America. So, first fact, 44 Americans don't have enough cash to cover a $400 emergency. 43% of student loan borrowers are not making their payments. 38% of households in America have credit card debt, and 33% of American adults have zero retirement savings. Those numbers are just hard to even process, is what it says below, right? And again, as we go through this, it might get uncomfortable, guys, but we're here to grow. Growing is uncomfortable. So let's face the uncomfortableness and let's learn and be open-minded. It says in a recent survey, US adults said on average they lost $1,230 in 2018 because they didn't properly understand basic household financial issues or finance issues. Almost 20% lost 2,500. It says the National Financial Education Council says this explains a lot. Being a real estate agent, I talk to a lot of people every day who struggle to afford the home they really want. If these numbers are true, many are squandering an entire mortgage payment. It says altogether, Sarah, the lack of financial literacy cost Americans a total of $295 billion in 2018, right? So if you can understand when we go back to, to leverage the ignorance of citizens and customers for their own power and gain, we understand why financial literacy is not taught in our schools, right? If you know, you know. So Next page, it says, I don't mean to be rude, but do people even want financial literacy? And I'm going to read that again. I don't mean to be rude. That's why we're here. But do people even want financial literacy, right? If we didn't grow up learning it, why do we take the time to learn it now? So it's like we either get taken advantage of or we take advantage of the opportunities, right? They do, Sarah. It's just not available. In a recent survey, American young adults were asked what high school level course would benefit them the most. The majority answered money management, personal finance. I thought of this stuff was taught in schools, I thought this stuff was taught in schools. It has to be. I bet $50 on it. I take that bet. It says only 17 out of 50 states require high schools to teach at least one class in personal finance. So if you guys don't have financial literacy at your school, you got it right here, Battlestrong 101. Yeah, it says that school wasn't my school wasn't one of them, and then another guy in here has like pictures. This is also a great book for any high schooler or any young child. Easy read. They make sure that it's easy to comprehend, but it has great nuggets, as y'all can already tell. It says, "Man, I guess I really am a sucker. I got played by a 19-year-old." Strong case can be made that financial literacy is the most neglected core life skill. So let's make that a priority, y'all. Every Friday, Financial Literacy Friday. So why isn't personal finance taught in schools? Let's find out. Public schools around the country are receiving funding for STEM and STEAM programs on the mobile game design, dance choreography, even more hydroponic farming, all requiring expensive equipment, studios, and labs. It should never prompt anyone to ask why the education system can't fund a personal finance 101 course. If the reasoning isn't lack of funding, what's the rationale? It says kind of makes you wonder. So, if it's by design or just by the way it is, without the knowledge of how money works, people get stuck. The lack of financial literacy doesn't just make people suckers, it traps them in a sucker cycle, often for life. And he said, hey, watch who you're calling a sucker. The average American doesn't make a whole heck of a lot. It's no wonder they feel trapped. Instead, right? Hear me out. Instead of putting their money to work, the sucker spends his or her money foolishly or deposits it into a low interest account. Why? Instant gratification and ignorance. They simply don't know what else to do with it. Essentially, the sucker gets a paycheck from some wealthy that hands them their money right back to someone else that's wealthy, who then makes more money with the sucker's money. So we don't want to be that sucker, right? We got to break the sucker cycle. That's what we're going to do. It says no one has money for each. It says the part of this says no one has money. For each generation, it's same. The knowledge of how money works is not taught from kindergarten through high school. Graduates head off to universities. They don't learn about personal finance there either. College graduates enter the workforce and start receiving a paycheck and spending their paycheck. And the sucker cycle continues. Earn a paycheck, spend a paycheck, earn a paycheck, spend a paycheck. They join the hundreds of millions living paycheck to paycheck, always spending, barely saving. When retirement finally arrives, or when accidents or illnesses occur later on in life, a terrible realization comes over them. They have no money. According to a recent survey, millennials have saved a median amount of $23,000 for retirement. Gen Xers have saved a median of amount of 66,000 for retirement. Baby boomers have saved a median amount of 152,000 for retirement, and 7 in 10 baby boomers plan to continue working after the age of 65. So George says, what what you're saying is that everyone has money, but almost no one has money saved. You nailed it. Most Americans make enough money to put their money to work. They don't just they don't just understand enough beyond earning and spending. Numbers don't lie. How much can you save? If you ever ask yourself that question, the answer is you could save $378 each month by cutting these these necessities in half. And so, of course, it has like a little example right here of the monthly spending. So, of course, you see Eat out and take out, $181. Ride shares, Lyft, Uber, $83 a month. Events, maybe concerts, stuff like that, $30 a month. Lottery tickets, $74 a month. Coffee lattes, like Starbucks, $60 a month. Alcohol, $29 a month. New clothing, $63 a month. And some subscription services, $237 a month. So P.T. Barnum once said, "There's a sucker born every day," and then, and then it says, "It's every minute, but who's counting?" It says, "How the sucker thinks, the haves and have-nots. It's the way things have always been, and I guess It's the way things always will be. How the wealthy thinks. I may not have learned about personal finance in school, but with the right information, the economic crisis of financial literacy does not have to be my personal crisis. Can I get an amen? How are you doing? I'm so happy that you guys are tuning in. It's crazy. So how the sucker thinks, the have and have nots, it's a like let's not be suckers, y'all. So let's grow together right now. It says how the sucker thinks, the haves and have nots. It's the way things have always been. And I guess that's the way things always be, right? We hear people blame the government and say all these different things and just giving up. Seems like they giving up on life. But how the wealthy think, right? It says I may not have learned about personal finance in school, but with the right information, the economic crisis of financial literacy doesn't have to be my personal crisis. So it doesn't have to be our personal crisis. I'm throwing that out there in the world. It's not our personal crisis, okay? We're not identifying that way. All right, so what have you learned? The economic crisis of financial literacy affects the entire world. The crisis is so widespread because financial literacy is largely not taught in schools. But you can get it over here at I Am Battlestrong 101. It says people get stuck in a cycle of foolish spending and putting money into low interest savings accounts. All right, y'all. So that was chapter 1. Chapter 2 next week is on realities and it's titled You're the Sucker. So I'm pretty sure just based on the title, You're a Sucker, I'm probably going to have to hold myself accountable to hearing a lot of different things that are unfamiliar to me. So I'm excited to share this book with you guys again. It's How Money Works, um, written by Tom Matthews and Steve Siebold. By the time we finish this book, right? And on Tuesdays, if you guys didn't know, for all our aspiring entrepreneurs, on Tuesdays, we're going over the Accidental Entrepreneur, 50 things I wish someone had told me about starting a business. So with the financial literacy from this book, with all the other classes that we have throughout the week, there is no reason why. Once it's time to graduate, after first semester, and we're finished with all these books, there's no way we're not going to have a ton of great jewels, information to also pour back into our peers and community. And then also, it also gives the kids the opportunity, the youth, to learn financial literacy from someone who cares about you guys' personal development. I care about my personal development, so why be stingy and just do this all to myself? Like, I'll just start a battle. I am Battle Strong 101 so we can all read and learn together and grow and evolve. And I guarantee you, like, for me, this doesn't stop. So, for those of you guys that are tuned in, and if you really do like tune in, dude, you're going to grow a whole lot over here and evolve. So, I feel myself growing. I'm in a great mood. My slushy just melted. It looked good. Now it looks nasty. But I hope you guys are having a great Friday. Again, all the stuff that I'm doing is, again, to pay it forward and give back to my peers and community and provide you guys with information. For those that don't know, I have plenty of years of being a preschool teacher. I taught in preschool, mentorship, oh my gosh, after school programs, sporting programs. I've taught hip hop dance, at-risk youth. I've worked in probably over 12 to 15 schools in my lifetime as well, doing all different types of things. So again, this is a way that I'm able to continue my education, provide the tools and resources to those who feel like tuning in. And another day is always another opportunity. May you guys have a great Friday. Stay blessed. And until next time, y'all stay tuned.